Have you ever wondered why something that once felt natural and comforting now seems rushed, disconnected, or even frustrating? As men grow older, the body and mind change in subtle but powerful ways. And what may have worked well in your 30s or 40s doesn't always serve you at 60 or 70, especially with intimate routines like masturbation. This deeply personal part of life is rarely discussed, yet it can hold the key to your physical health, mental clarity, and sexual confidence. That's why today we'll uncover 7 silent mistakes that may be stealing your satisfaction and show you how to regain it with greater wisdom and vitality. Now, let's get started. Mistake 1 is believing in the semen retention myth. Many older men, especially past their 50s or 60s, fall into the tempting but misguided idea that avoiding ejaculation will unlock vitality, sharpen mental clarity, boost testosterone, or even provide a fountain of youth. This belief often grows from a mix of cultural myths, scattered anecdotes, and misleading claims found online, where bold promises overshadow real science. While a few studies suggest that short-term abstinence, about a week, may cause a brief rise in testosterone, the truth is far more complex. Your body isn't a machine to be hacked. It's a living system built for balance, and part of that balance includes the natural rhythm of release. Suppressing ejaculation for weeks or months, hoping to gain superpowers, can have consequences. Physically, it may lead to pelvic pressure or a constant sense of congestion. Emotionally, it can bring irritability, restlessness, and unpredictable mood swings that leave you feeling off balance. Even more concerning, for men over 60, prolonged retention may raise the risk of prostate issues, from inflammation to more serious problems later. That's why urologists and medical experts emphasize that regular moderate ejaculation isn't harmful. It's actually beneficial for your health. Regular release helps flush the prostate, reducing the buildup of harmful substances. It supports hormone balance, eases physical tension, and often leads to deeper, more restorative sleep. The semen retention myth sells the illusion of strength through control, but in reality, it often brings the opposite: frustration, dissatisfaction, and a growing disconnect from your body's signals. Masturbation, when freed from stigma, isn't about weakness or lack of discipline. It's about listening to your body's needs. Think of it less as indulgence and more as maintenance, like stretching sore muscles after a long day or taking a deep breath to steady your mind. Done with intention, it can ground you in the present, restore your energy, and strengthen your connection with yourself. If you're still clinging to the belief that holding back makes you more of a man, ask yourself, what other outdated ideas might be draining your joy, your stamina, or your ability to fully live in your own skin? Mistake 2 is using the same grip and technique every time. There's comfort in routine, especially as the years pass. Habits form like well-worn paths, and with something as personal as masturbation, many older men settle into the same familiar groove. Same hand, same pressure, the same predictable strokes, never thinking to change. It feels reliable and efficient, but here's the catch. What seems like a trusted routine can quietly undermine your experience. The body is highly adaptable. When it's stimulated in the same way over and over, it adjusts, sometimes too well. Over months or years, that unchanging pattern can dull sensitivity, making it harder to enjoy the full range of pleasure. For some, it even creates a kind of tunnel vision where only that one trigger works, leaving other kinds of touch, even from a partner, feeling foreign or less effective. The result? Difficulty climaxing, losing interest halfway, or a vague sense of detachment, wondering why the spark has faded. Many older men, especially after 60, assume it's just aging or lost vitality, but often the true culprit is monotony. The good news is, you don't need a drastic change to fix it, just the willingness to break the pattern. Try switching hands to engage different nerves. Experiment with lighter or firmer pressure, adjust the rhythm, or explore new angles and motions. If you're open, Safe, body-friendly tools like lubricants or toys can also add a fresh dimension. This isn't about discarding what works, it's about building on it, keeping your senses sharp and your mind engaged. Think of it like fitness. Your muscles don't grow stronger by lifting the same weight forever. They thrive on variety and challenge. Pleasure works the same way. It's not about chasing thrills for their own sake, but about staying in tune with a body that continues to evolve and surprise you. As you age, your needs change. So why should your habits remain frozen in time? You deserve a sexual experience that grows richer and more fulfilling with you. Mistake 3 is rushing through the experience. For many men, the habit of hurrying self-pleasure began in youth, often driven by fear of being caught, lack of time, or the restless energy of adolescence. What begins as a practical response in youth can, over the years, harden into a deeply ingrained routine. By the time you reach your 60s or beyond, this tendency to rush can quietly rob the experience of its richness and depth. When self-pleasure is hurried, it becomes almost mechanical, reduced to a task aimed only at release rather than the fuller spectrum of enjoyment. For men over 60, this rushed pattern carries an even heavier cost. Your body is still capable of profound, layered sensations, yet speeding through denies you the chance to feel them. A hurried pace prevents arousal from building naturally. It cuts short anticipation and the slow burn of excitement, while the mind drifts away from the present, focused only on the finish line instead of savoring the moment. Over time, this habit can dull sensitivity both physically and emotionally. What once felt electric begins to feel routine, leaving only disappointment or a hollow aftertaste. An act that once offered vitality and connection to yourself or to intimacy in the past becomes little more than another item on a checklist. There is a way to reclaim what's been lost. Slowing down can transform the entire experience. By giving yourself permission to linger, you allow the body time to fully awaken. The nervous system can tune in, amplifying each subtle sensation, while the mind settles into the present, rediscovering the textures and rhythms that rushing often ignores. Imagine pairing deep, intentional breathing with each movement, your inhales and exhales grounding you in the moment. Picture slowing your pace, exploring the ebb and flow of your body's response. This isn't about dragging things out, it's about restoring curiosity and presence. Pleasure doesn't exist only in the climax. It's found in the unfolding, in the dance of tension and release, and in the quiet power of being fully attuned to yourself. When you treat this time as worthy of attention rather than a quick fix, it becomes more than a physical act. It evolves into a nourishing ritual, helping you feel more alive, more integrated, and more connected to the man you are today. You might be surprised at how much you've been missing by rushing through all these years. Even if you've learned to slow down, there's still another layer to explore. Focusing only on pace won't unlock your full potential if your attention remains fixed on a single part of your body. This leads to the next mistake: ignoring the rest of your body. Over decades, habits, social messages, and lack of awareness have conditioned many men to focus solely on their genitals, as if that's the only source of pleasure worth noticing. It's an understandable focus, direct, efficient, and familiar, but it comes at a cost, especially with age. Treating one area as the center of everything overlooks the vast network of nerve endings and erogenous zones across your body. And even after 60, these areas remain eager to respond and can enrich your experience in surprising ways. Your body isn't a single-note instrument. It's a symphony of sensation, with places like the inner thighs, chest, lower abdomen, neck, and perineum ready to join in. These areas aren't just secondary. They can amplify arousal and intensify both the physical and emotional dimensions of pleasure. Take the perineum, for example, that often overlooked area between the scrotum and anus. Gentle touch or pressure there can send waves of sensation through the pelvis, creating a fuller, more grounded experience. Or think of the soft skin along your inner thighs. Light strokes can build anticipation, drawing your awareness outward and upward in a slow crescendo. Even your chest or neck, when caressed with intention, can spark a warmth that radiates back to your core. This isn't about making self-pleasure overly complicated or performative. It's about recognizing your body as a connected system, not just a single switch to flip. Gentle massage, varied pressure, or experimenting with temperature, like a warm cloth or cool fingertips, can break old patterns and awaken new ones. Such exploration pulls you out of autopilot and into a more immersive, satisfying experience. It fosters presence, helping you feel your body as a living whole, alive with sensation and possibility. For men over 60, this broader approach can counteract natural changes in circulation or sensitivity by reawakening dormant pathways. This isn't indulgence, it's honoring what your body can still do and feel. You're not just chasing a single peak anymore, but cultivating a deeper, more lasting satisfaction. Yet even as you expand awareness to the whole body, the quality of touch matters just as much. There's one simple, often overlooked detail that can quietly undermine comfort and enjoyment if ignored. Mistake 5 is avoiding lubrication. As the years pass, the body naturally changes. Skin may lose some of its youthful moisture, and sensitivity can shift in subtle but noticeable ways. For many men, these changes alter how touch feels compared to earlier decades. Still, a surprising number continue self-pleasure without lubrication, perhaps out of habit, thinking it's unnecessary, or even holding on to the outdated notion that toughing it out is more masculine. In reality, skipping this small step doesn't just limit comfort. Avoiding lubrication can diminish the entire experience in ways you may not notice at first. Without it, friction becomes an unwelcome guest, leading to irritation, chafing, or even tiny abrasions that, over time, dull the skin's sensitivity. What feels tolerable in the moment can quietly erode the responsiveness you once took for granted. By contrast, using a quality lubricant changes everything. It creates a smooth glide that reduces discomfort and enhances pleasure. The motion shifts from effort to flow, allowing you to relax into the experience instead of bracing against it. For men over 60, lubrication can even mimic the closeness of partnered touch, rekindling a sense of connection that dry friction cannot provide. The benefits go deeper still. Lubrication can reawaken nerve endings that have grown less responsive, extending both the duration and intensity of pleasure. It also helps if joint stiffness or reduced hand dexterity makes touch more difficult. With less resistance, there's less strain, so you can focus on sensation, not effort. This isn't a luxury or a crutch. Just as glasses sharpen vision or cushioned shoes ease walking, lubricant is a practical tool for meeting your body's needs today. Embracing it isn't weakness, it's a wise adaptation to change. A dry, rushed encounter may leave you only mildly satisfied, while a lubricated, intentional one feels soothing, alive, and deeply fulfilling. Such a small shift can have a big impact, enhancing comfort, boosting sensitivity, and restoring your sense of control over sexual well-being. Yet even when you slow down, engage your whole body, and use the right tools, one more barrier can still hold you back. This hurdle isn't physical, it's mental, and it can quietly undermine even your best efforts if ignored. What is it? Mistake 6. Carrying shame or guilt about the act. For many men over 60, these feelings are not new. They are echoes of earlier years shaped by strict cultural norms, whispered taboos, and unspoken rules. Growing up in times when sex was rarely discussed openly, self-pleasure was often clouded by stigma. It might have been branded as dirty, sinful, or weak, something to hide behind locked doors or rush through in secrecy. Even now, with decades of experience and a more open world, those old imprints can linger like shadows at the back of your mind. You may fully understand that masturbation is a normal, healthy part of life, supported by science and medical experts, yet still feel a pang of guilt, a fleeting unease, or the urge to hurry through it. That inner conflict doesn't just dim the moment, it chips away at the deeper satisfaction you deserve. These feelings can ripple outward, shaping how you see your body, your desires, and even your right to pleasure. You may find yourself keeping it a secret, avoiding reflection, or carrying quiet judgment that doesn't match what you know to be true. That tension can turn what should be a simple, affirming act into something weighed down by guilt. The truth, however, is clear. There is nothing shameful about making time for yourself. When approached with mindfulness and acceptance, masturbation can move beyond the physical. It becomes an act of self-care, a release of stress, a reconnection with your emotions, and even a pathway to peace. Far from being selfish, it's a gesture of respect for your own well-being. Studies consistently confirm the benefits for older adults. Better sleep as the body relaxes, improved mood from endorphins, reduced anxiety as tension fades, and renewed confidence from staying in tune with yourself. Yet these rewards can slip away if shame or guilt steals the moment. The first step toward freedom is to question those feelings. Where did they come from? Were they truly yours, or passed down by strict parents, cultural taboos, or outdated teachings? Peeling back those layers often reveals how little power those old beliefs should hold over the person you are today. Imagine reframing masturbation not as a hidden vice, but as a natural act of self-care, like eating well, exercising, or resting when you're tired. Once you strip away the baggage, the experience shifts. You're no longer sneaking through it, you're claiming it with confidence. You deserve to feel comfortable in your own skin, to meet your needs without apology. Freeing yourself from guilt is a powerful step, but the journey doesn't stop there. Another subtle mistake often flies under the radar, quietly limiting the pleasure you can still enjoy as your body evolves with age. Most men don't recognize it until much later, and when they do, it can feel like flipping a switch. Mistake 7 is ignoring tools and enhancements made for men over 60. Aging brings natural changes, less sensitivity in certain areas, stiffer joints that make movement harder, or reduced stamina that shifts the rhythm of intimacy. Yet many men cling to the same habits they developed decades ago, the same grip, the same pace, the same routine, without asking if it still truly serves them. What they may not realize is that an entire world of tools and enhancements now exists, designed specifically to support older men and enrich their experience in ways they never imagined. Why do so many men bypass these options? For some, it's pride. I've always done it this way, I don't need help. For others, it's discomfort, imagining flashy gimmicks that feel out of place. And for many, it's simply not knowing what exists or how it might improve their lives. But passing on these resources often means settling for less comfort, less ease, and less intensity than you could be enjoying. Modern advancements have moved far beyond the crude stereotypes of sex toys. Today, there are products crafted specifically with older men in mind. Soft, flexible silicone sleeves that replicate warmth and texture, ergonomic grips for arthritic hands, and subtle vibrating massagers that awaken nerves dulled by age or medication. These aren't replacements for your touch. They're amplifiers, working with your body, not against it. Think of them like any other adaptation you've embraced with age. You wouldn't hesitate to wear glasses to sharpen your vision, add cushioned insoles for comfort, or use a hearing aid to catch every word. Why should self-pleasure be treated any differently? Using a well-designed tool isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's a practical and empowering choice to honor how your body has changed while making the most of what it can still do. The results can be remarkable: smooth motions without strain, richer sensations, and even the chance to explore parts of yourself you may have overlooked. Some men, for example, find that a gentle prostate massager opens up an entirely new dimension of pleasure they never thought possible after years of routine. Aging doesn't mean surrendering your sexuality. It means evolving with it. Embracing tools designed for this stage of life can reignite curiosity, spark vitality, and remind you that pleasure is not limited to youth. You might uncover fresh sensations or simply enjoy the ease of a process that better supports your body today. But tools alone are not enough. What truly reshapes the experience is your mindset, one that brings everything together and elevates self-pleasure into something extraordinary. By letting go of outdated myths, embracing new techniques, and approaching intimacy with intention, you're not just enhancing a private act, you're honoring your body and rediscovering vitality that grows with you. I wish you all good health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to my channel, Healthy Aging Blueprint, for more trusted insights on living well at every stage of life.